I'm going to make a lino print, but I want to experiment and see whether I can do one using acrylic paint instead of ink. Normally I use ink, specialist ink for printing that's quite viscous, but I'm moving house at the moment and the ink is at the other house, so I thought let's try it with acrylic paint, see what happens. So I'm going to carve a new design out that's going to be a multi-layer one, some crocuses, because crocuses are coming out in the garden at the moment. And I also have a ready-made one from the past that is just a pigeon. And it's one that I've tried before, and it's a very simple design. So I thought that's going to be a one colour print. But first of all, I'm going to start doing crocuses. So I tried to transfer the image using graphite paper, but it didn't work. So I'm just going to draw it using a Posca pen and straight onto the lino. Now, for some reason, I'm trying quite a complex design that's got lots of different parts to it. So I'm thinking maybe this is a bit risky to try a new technique. So, I mean, I've done monoprints before using acrylic paint, and those have worked very well. And I've done all sorts of different I've done polyboard printing as well. But I haven't tried a mixed colour lino print using acrylic paint. So I thought, okay, let's try it. So I'm drawing out the petals of the crocuses. I'm going to try and do yellow ones and purple ones with green leaves. Oh, pen's blobbed. Green leaves and then a jazzy background, two-tone with lines coming out of it. And I thought that will definitely give it a good try because you need lots of different colours, probably about 4 different colours, maybe 5. So I'm going to start off, I use the board. Some people use mats. I like a board because if you slip with the cutting tool, it just jabs into the wood instead of into your fingers. So I'm trying to move my fingers out of the way as much as possible. And I push, for safety, I push the lino into the back corner of the board, and every time I want to turn a corner I'll turn the lino around instead of turning my hand, because you can get some very nasty cuts. It's designed for cutting into soft fleshy substance, so you want to make sure your fingers are well away from the cutting tool. These are just cheap little cutting tools like the ones that we use at school. I get them from YPO and they're by Major Brushes. So I've turned it round. Instead of turning my hand round, I've turned the lino around. And every time I point it near me, I move my hand away so it can't go into my fingers. Some people put a glove on their other hand, and some people wear a plaster to try and protect their hand, but I think it would probably go through a plaster as well if you catch your finger, so I don't want to do that. I've seen several injuries using lino cutting tools, and don't want that to happen. So if you use one of these boards, you hook it on the edge of the table that's nearest to you, where your knees are, and then you push against it, and it can take quite a bit of pressure. So I'm just going around the edges. I'm going to try this on 2 different colours of paper, on white, and I'm going to try it on black. So I'm cutting round the outline of the flowers, and on black that will make it have a black outline. Everything that you cut out is what comes out whatever colour the paper is. So if I use pink paper, the outline would be pink. So I'm going to have one outline of white and one of black just to test them out, see what it looks like. And then I'm going to try the same colours on each one, and I'm going to put layers on. I'll start with the palest one first, which will be the yellow, and then I'm going to cut out the parts that I want to keep yellow. So that will be one of the crocuses. I'll have one yellow one, and then the other 2 can be purple. So once I've done the yellow, the background will all be yellow and the flowers will. and then you layer up with the paint on top. And as it's acrylic, this should be okay because acrylic's quite thick, quite plasticized, and you can work on top of the layers with it. So we'll see what happens. I love lino printing. I love all types of printing, and I really like the printing ink. It's a lovely texture. It's really nice to roll out, and you can layer it up on top of each other, the different layers, and you can mix the colours together. It's great to use. But I'm in Manchester at the moment, and the ink is in Dorset. It couldn't be further away. So a couple of 100 miles away. Right, so I've cut out all the outlines, get rid of those, and let's try rolling out the first colour. So it's going to be, there's my paper, I've got one piece of black and one piece of white, and I'm going to roll out some yellow first of all, just ordinary acrylic paint, quite a thin layer, don't want it to go down the holes. I'm going to mark off on I've put a piece of white paper in the background, one to catch the paint drips, and also I'm marking off on it where the edge of the board is, and then I'm going to mark off where the edge of the paper is as well, so that I can do multi-layers on top of it. And instead of using a brush, I'm using a roller, a big roller. I keep one clean. Well, that's not worked out very well, has it? It needs more ink on, more paint. And some of the black paper has come off onto the board as well. So first try, acrylic isn't that good. So I'm matching up the corners. Each time I put a new piece on, or the same piece on, I'm matching it to the corners. Again, not enough. So one layer of printing ink would have given nice coverage. This acrylic paint is patchy. It's sticking to the paper. It dries very quickly, acrylic paint. So it's drying a bit, so I'm trying to go a bit faster now. That's a bit better. Still patchy. Now let's try it on the black, see what that comes out like. So a bit more. Oh no, I'm doing another layer of the white. Okay, so that's 4 layers, and it's still patchy. Not so good. So, now so I tried it on the black and it's patchy. So I'm covering up, I'm digging out the parts that I want to stay yellow. So everything I dig out will stay the colour of the last. Misty always likes to join in. Wherever I'm doing something, she sticks her tail or her paw or her face, and I don't mind that. Get hairs in there as well, but it's just part of it. So if I dig out all of the area that I want to keep yellow, I'm going to add a bit to the stems as well, because crocuses like that, they're a bit pale on the stems, aren't they? So one of them is going to be yellow, and then the other 2 are going to be purple. So at the moment, I'm not too pleased with the effect of the coverage of the yellow. It's too patchy and it picks up the paper, it sticks to it. So at the moment, the printing ink wins. And I presume there's a reason why you buy printing ink to do lino printing and other printing, because they make it specially for it. I presume they've made it to go with the materials and to have better coverage. But as I don't have any, let's see if I can get a print out of acrylic paint, because it's got a lot of similarities, hasn't it? So digging away some of the areas, whatever I want to leave yellow, right, and ink it up again in a second. Maybe I shouldn't have tried something so complex. Right, now going for purple. Put a bit of white in there because it's quite a dark purple, and if it's going to show up on the black, it needs to be a bit paler. Mix it up. It goes on nicely. You can see the crocuses. So this is going to I was trying to get an ombre effect there, but it doesn't really work with acrylic, and they've got to be fast. So black first, because I put the white on there. Trying not to make it move. Okay, well that's had better coverage than the yellow. So going for the white first, let's see what it looks like. Oh no, really bad. It's not taken to the paper at all. Try again, second there. Well, it worked better on the black. I think the black's winning at the moment. The white paper seems to have a different consistency. Let's see if it sticks to it again. No, that's no good at all. There's a big patch in the middle where nothing's sticking to it. It's the white paper is from a sketchbook. It's a not watercolor. It's just sketchbook paper, so sort of cartridge paper. Whereas the black paper has got a bit of a shine to it. So that was enough of the purple. Now I'm going to dig away the flowers that I want to remain purple. And I'm also going to dig some lines into the background. I want it to have quite a dynamic look to it. I'm going to put some red onto it next to, one, to make the bits in the middle of the crocuses stand out, and two, to make some jazzy lines for the background to make it pop. So cutting out all the bits that I want to remain purple. And now I'm going to do some lines. So I'm going a bit 70s pop art. Not measuring them with a ruler or anything, so they're just going to be very quick lines, but I want it to look a bit dynamic, to make it a bit more than just some flowers. So where I've cut the lines, that should remain purple, and then everything else should be red on top of that. Got a dark red here. That's nice. Strong colour, but it's gone on very thickly because it doesn't have quite the same way of thinning out as the ink, so I've got to dig out some of those. Like, oh no, I didn't dig them out, just left them there. Should have dug those lines out. Let's see how it goes. That's not bad. Not bad. It's still a bit patchy though. That's one big difference that I've noticed, is that you have to do 2 or 3 layers of acrylic paint to get similar coverage to the printing ink. Now that one was much better. Third layer. Let's see what that looks like. Yes, that's better. Much better. But the yellow is very pale. If I'd done yellow with using ink, it would have been much brighter. So the purple probably worked the best. So I've got 3 different makes of paint. I'm trying out different ones. So the purple paint was quite thick. This red one is quite a loose one that I got from the works. No, that's okay. That's all right. It's coming out. They're not brilliant. I think the yellow was the most disappointing. The pale colour just didn't have any pop to it at all. It was that very patchy first layer. So I did a little bit of, going to try it out now on just a single colour print. This is one that I'd made earlier. that's a pigeon. Actually, I didn't make it. This is my niece Sophie made this, and we had a printing session one day and she made this, so I know it works with ink. So I thought, let's try this one, see what it's like. Yes, that's working. So this is acrylic paint still. I used it to add a little bit of leaves on the crocuses. So that's nice, a nice contrast. So, and putting a bit of metallic paint on there as well. So basically, you can use acrylic paint, but it takes a lot of effort. It's patchy. The colours aren't as zingy. And from the look of this pigeon, it works better on a simple design. The complex designs, there are too many factors in there to allow it to work properly. So just a simple single colour, yes, you can use acrylic paint. But a more complex multi-layered colour, yeah, that's coming out nicely. A more complex multi-layered print, and I think you need to stick with the official ink. Let's see what it comes out like on white. I think it will probably come out the same. It's a nice strong image, nice strong lines, and I know it works, so let's have a bit of blue in there, a bit stronger because of the white. So I think the results are, don't use acrylic paint on a multi-layered, more complex piece, but yes, you can use it on a single colour block print like this. This works okay. Yeah, that's fine. So you can use acrylic paint, but need to wash the rollers and everything straight away, because the acrylic paint will get stuck in it very easily and you can never get it off if you don't wash it quickly. It will never roll again. So there we go. So pigeons successful, crocuses less so. Too many parts, too many different colours for the crocuses, and too many layers. There we are, acrylic paint lino prints.